All right, we got part two here of um, just demonstrating how quickly the growth comes up through this leaf litter, how quickly you won't see it. So here we are in the same corner. Here's the Virginia bluebells, pretty much peak bloom. There, you can see some of their flowers are already going to seed. There, here, this area is probably not going to be much here because I ripped out a bunch of foreign daylilies that I had mistakenly put in here a few years ago, and it was such a pain in the butt to get them out. So I gotta basically put some new things in here. I got some ideas that I want to do. Here's some of our daylilies left over. Just trying to let them dry out. I stomp out their little tubulars down there. Otherwise, you just throw them in there, they'll just grow. Throw them in a compost pile, they'll just grow again. So try to stomp them out and let them dry out before I throw them in the trash. But here we go. You can see, if you compare the first video to this video, you see how quickly things are growing up through here. And this garden here is this area of my garden is much more new. I started this a few years ago, but things are definitely filling in. You know, I just kind of spread species throughout my yard. I mean, you'll see a lot of the same things in the same gardens here. I mean, you got your pale leaf sunflower. Most people know about your purple cone flowers. You got a late boneset. A lot of stuff doesn't even flower till August. We get some flowers on that coneflower in July. Got different asters in here. More boneset. A lot of coneflower. Coneflower is really easy to spread as long as you're not using that wood mulch. I mean, most of these plants will spread pretty easy as long as you're not wood mulching everything, because you're just not going to get any young seedlings. Here's some other asters in here. Asters are a really good plant for a lot of different species of moths and butterflies. There you go, pale leaf sunflower. Stuff just grows and grows. It's very aggressive, but there's a difference between a foreign invasive and an aggressive. These guys have a lot of value to wildlife with their flowers for various pollinators, and then the seed heads for migrating birds like goldfinches. There's my little 9-bark. He's growing. We got a wild geranium. See, that one's getting ready to flower. Also known as crane's bill, because the little seed almost looks like a bill of a beak, and then when the seed is ready to be distributed, it flings it off, so it's not competing with the mother plant. Pretty cool stuff. Here's our fox sedge. These are really good. They almost stay green all year round, so they give you some winter interest. We got our winterberry here. He's budding. Got some leaves on him now, coming out of dormancy. I planted a bunch of little lupines in here, and I don't see any of them coming up. It's just an odd plant. I have a hard time understanding. I mean, sometimes years it'll grow, and then other years it won't. Some years it'll be a fully mature plant, and some years it'll flower, and then other years it won't. So it's just a really odd one for me to try to understand. But you're not seeing much of that leaf litter anymore, are you? 1 week later. Pretty amazing how plants, they just come out of dormancy and just grow so rapidly. Especially plants that have been around these areas for thousands of years. There's Miss Bumblebee here, looking for a nest, place to start her nest. I believe that is Bombus impatiens. Pretty common bumblebee. She is out looking for a place to start her nest. Here's a place we had a whole lot of stems, huh? It's just so awesome how green everything gets. You come out here every week, and if you're like me and you travel and then you come back after a few days, you're like, oh my goodness, things just like completely changed. You can see slowly but surely, even those long stems of New England aster are slowly disappearing. Well, I shouldn't say slowly, it's only been a week. But look at our narrowleaf mountain mint. I've been trying to grow this area like more bulk planting here, so we have a nice effect going on when these things are flowering here. I think maybe late May, I think they flowered last year. And then we have our beard tongues right behind there, and they flower a little bit earlier than our narrowleaf mountain mint. And then we have a bunch of different grasses. Well, we have the same broom sedge blue stem growing in there. And there's other things, milkweed, butterfly weed they call it, the one with the orange flower, growing in there, all along there. I think I see some growing, popping up. They're already late, but yeah, there they are, starting to come through right there, along with a couple little seeds. We'll see what these guys turn out to be down there, these seedlings there. And that's how I propagate, really. I mean, I just use these things and just move them and give them away. And you're not going to really get that type of stuff with wood mulch. And I know you put wood mulch in because you don't want your weeds growing around, but every year you got to do that, so you go throw some more money at somebody. Meanwhile, you could just use what's already here. This is a cycle. These plants, they grow, they die, they grow, and they live off the dead material of I guess their ancestors, right? So you can continue to tear that stuff out of there and throw it in a trash bag for what? So that you have to come back and you have to reinvigorate the soil with chemicals, or salts, I should say, fertilizers. Look at this area is pretty much all green now. Oops. We got our asters and garden phlox and violets. Nice and green. There's a nice lupine there. Look at them. I love how lupines, they hold water after a nice little rain. They hold water right on their leaves like that. I think that's just so cool. But he flowered in 2015. He didn't flower last year, so we'll find out if he's gonna flower this year. I don't see any flower shoots in there. But I planted him from seed about 7 years ago. And for a few years, it was just like one leaf. And now it's just a huge, massive thing. And he flowered. I had all these little seedlings that I moved around the yard, but now I don't see any seedlings coming up, so. There's our Virginia bluebells. More pale leaf sunflower back there. Here's an area I've been working on. I've been adding different species. I mean, that's really what it's about, right? Biodiversity. The more species you have, the more blooms you're going to have, the longer. That's Hoary Mountain Man. I gathered his seed up there near Hawk Mountain a couple years ago, so hopefully we'll get some flowers out of these guys this year to go along with my narrowleaf mountain mint. Some tulips that were here previously. The wife likes them, so I'll leave them. Looks like I need to mow my grass, huh? What grass I have left. Uh-oh. What's that over there going on? Some fighting robins. Let's go over there and see how that nest is doing. This garden's really nice, really coming in. It's more of a woodland type area here. Underneath these, we got some yews, but that's our Pennsylvania state tree there, eastern hemlock. Not doing too good with those woolly aphids. I got some invasives there. I've been working. These guys are so hard to get rid of. I've been ripping them out slowly and surely, and I'm putting in other things like Jacob's ladder. Just getting ready to flower. Some of them got a little bit of blue to them, but started this original colony from seed many years ago at my parents' house. And we got our big leaf aster there, geraniums down there. Some young Virginia bluebells that haven't flowered. I noticed if you take some of these bigger Virginia bluebells and then you dig them up after they've gone dormant and then you break them up and then you plant them, the next year they don't flower. But in a few years they'll be nice and thick again. But that's just how you can propagate them more, right? See our robin nest. It's coming along. It's coming along in there. Looks like I just got to start putting maybe mud around there. We'll see. Well, that's the part 2 video of demonstrating how quickly things green up and the leaf litter disappears.